So today we're going to talk about financial markets, and we're going to talk about trading in particular, because I think there's a lot that we can learn in tech about how to think about decisions, how to think about data, and a lot of other related things, the way that traders maybe think about them. How do we get better at just about anything? And in my view, the key skill that you need in order to be able to do that is decision making. Decision making is like a superpower, right? Like it makes all of your other abilities more salient, better, and it mitigates the things that maybe you're not quite as good at. Over time, the thing that defines whether you're a good trader, whether you're successful in financial markets, is the quality of your decision making. That's really the thing that defines people who are good at this and people who are not. It seems abundantly clear that in the last 5, 10 years or whatever, the economy, our world economy, is definitely moving towards a model where trading is the primary mode that people interact. The thing that makes you a good Uber driver is knowing when to turn your phone on, right? Knowing when to be available, knowing when to trade your time for some unknown amount of money. Information is only useful to you if it's available when you need to make a decision, right? And so I've distilled this down into 11 hopefully easy to remember laws. And this is a very broad decision-making concept that I want to introduce. The idea that whenever you're trying to privilege an emotion or a feeling, when you're trying to make a rational decision, probably they're winning and probably you're losing. Like you walk into the dealership and you start looking at the stickers and you start looking at the cars, and then the car dealer comes over and he's got a smile on his face, like you're already doing bad trades and you haven't even done anything yet. And so pre-commitment is an incredibly powerful way to sort of level that field. Which options matter to you? How much are you willing to pay for them? Write the stuff down on a piece of paper and bring that piece of paper to the dealership. And don't leave that piece of paper in your pocket. Like, pull it out, look at it. You might look like an idiot, but you'll save a lot of money. This idea of edge isn't just about trading. One of the most powerful things you can think of and think about in order to sort of understand how your career should progress is really deeply understanding what your personal edge is. What are the things that you in particular are good at? All models are wrong, but some are useful, because that's what models are. Models are useful simplifications of a very complex world. It's all about building systems that are robust to things you can't think of. We are model building entities as humans, whether we like to do it or not. What you're doing when you're making decisions in your everyday life, you're implicitly making models of other people. You're making models of how they think, how they're going to react to your actions, and so forth. Well, no, actually, when I really think about it, my wife really would not like me to do that, right? Like it's a very obvious thing, but again, for me, maybe not so obvious. And over the long term, for tech companies that are successful, the biggest cost they really need to worry about is the opportunity cost of the things that they're not doing. In finance, there's a lot of misaligned incentive. Most of the time at work, people aren't really out to get you, or they're not being jerks. They're just responding to their incentives. Listen, project A is your #1 priority. And you kind of reasonably ask them, okay, but what about project B? And they say, that is also your #1 priority. And she cannot be seen to make that call. This idea of data, right? Like, how do we use data to improve our decision making? This is basically the big business story of the last 5 years, and probably will be for the next 5 years. The world of trading has been living in this world for at least 20 years. The Underpants Gnomes are a secret society of gnomes, and their plan for world domination is to, step 1, collect the underpants, step 2, they're not clear on, and step 3 is profit. The thing is, a lot of companies that are thinking about data these days just replace the collect underpants with collect the data, right? Like, they know they have to collect data, and they know they want profit, but they don't know what to do in the middle. Trading firms have been living in this sort of machines make most of the day-to-day decisions world for a couple of decades. They caught it and they finally shut it down less than an hour later. By then they had lost $500 million. Less than an hour. What is it that you can do, again, in order to build automated systems that make consequential financial decisions without subjecting yourself to this kind of risk, or at least to minimize it as much as you can? If you're a trader, you know that your strategies are getting less profitable every single day. But you have to go out and find it, because otherwise you're out of a job. The joy and the calling of the job is in that quest to improve, is in that quest to sort of get better every day. That's the good stuff, right? That's your personal edge.